restart the level. They can just keep going from right where they are.
That's cool. So is there going to be any, obviously this sets up a lot of opportunities for multiplayer. Is going to be any online features with that? Or is...
Not at the moment.
Okay.
We're focusing on the local co-op at the moment.
Very cool. So I overheard you talking in your last demo. There's a lot of gameplay elements for those who are familiar with other Star Wars games. Let's talk about the gameplay and the characters you can play as and whatnot.
So for the Jedi level, we have 8 playable Jedi. We have our favorites like Obi-Wan and Anakin. We have some of the new guys like Ahsoka Tano from the animated series, Kit Fisto, Mace Windu, some of the really favorites from the show. You'll see here Alvin's playing as Obi-Wan and Plo Koon, and we're going to move into the station. One of the cool things is the cooperative nature between the clones and the Jedi. You'll see the clone trooper just hack that terminal so we can progress through the level. We're going to move forward, and now it's going to be our turn to help the clones. You'll see here we've got some super battle droids in front of us, but this separatist ship just blasted in. Now we've got a destroyer droid in our way. The destroyer droid's pinning down our clone trooper buddies, and we want to help them out. So Alvin's going to jump across here, and he's going to use the force push on the droideka to knock it off that ledge.
Nice.
Now our clone troopers are free to help us out. They're going to hack that terminal, open the bridge, and then we can continue on through the game. Again, classic Jedi lightsaber combat.
Cool. So what level are you guys showing off, and how many different playable levels will be in the game when it finally ships?
I believe there's somewhere around 40 plus levels, 4 planets, 8 playable Jedi, 10 playable clone troopers, 4 that are brand new to the game, which will then move into the TV series. So again, kind of bridging that gap and really bringing the two together.
All right, and now is this Xbox 360 exclusive, or is it coming to everything?
It's going to be on all major consoles, Xbox 360, PS3, PSP, PS2 in North America, DS, Wii, and PC.
Dude, you guys are stacking it fat.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, so when can folks get their hands on Star Wars: The Clone Wars Republic Heroes?
This will be out in September of '09, so it's coming up real quick for everybody to enjoy.
Cool. Thanks again, Matt. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your show.
You too.
All right. Thanks, Alvin. We didn't get a chance to talk to you, but driving the game.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of your show. All right, more from the Microsoft booth to come. GameSpot's coverage of E3 2009 continues.
And we are back here on the GameSpot stage. Ryan, taking over again. Thank you so much, Kevin, for giving me a slight break, but Batman was coming, and I'm a huge fan. How you doing? Stephen Hill, game director, working on Batman Arkham Asylum. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, really good. Really
Excellent.
Good.
And you waited down at the end of the couch. How you doing? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
I'm Stanley Fan, Ados PR.
There you go.
What's up, everybody?
And we are taking a look at
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Excellent. I can't tell you, I'm a huge fan of Batman, obviously, and this game, I've seen, obviously, a lot of people have seen the trailers.
Yeah.
They've seen some of the stuff that you've released that actually details how you guys are doing some of the combat.
Yeah.
You guys got some new stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look and let you...
We're going to show you some of the stuff, some from the demo we got on the show floor today, which really introduces the start of the story mode. So you've got Zaz. This is just jumping you in right into the middle of the demo. Zaz has captured one of the guards, and this is kind of an introduction to the Invisible Predator gameplay. So you can see here Stan is switching on Batman's detective mode cowl. He can look around the environment and you can see the skeletons of the different characters in the environment. He can study those characters, see their heart rate, see their behavior. So here you can see Zaz down there threatening the guard, and Batman's going to kind of move behind him and be able to take out Zaz without Zaz even knowing where he is, because Zaz is kind of threatened to kill the guard if he sees Batman coming. Obviously, no one sees Batman coming. So there you go. He'll follow that up with a slightly painful blow there. And here we have an introduction as well. So basically, we've dropped you in kind of in the middle here. Joker's taken over the asylum with the help of Harley Quinn. So here's Harley Quinn's main introduction.
Something to show you. 1 second, P-Man.
So this is Warden Quincy Sharp, who's the warden of the asylum, and as you can see, Harley's taking over. She's wearing his badge. She stole his cane.
You ain't figured it out. Today is the Joker's big homecoming, and you're the guest of honor.
You have one chance to surrender, Quinn.
Tempting fast, but no dice. Now the inmates are running the asylum. Well, technically, the Joker
So we kind of established this relationship between Batman, Harley, Joker, also Oracle, who is on the earpiece too now. So obviously Oracle's kind of giving you the information from outside the asylum. No one really ever tells Batman what to do. Batman always decides what to do in the game, but Oracle can give you that kind of things which are slightly outside of your sphere of influence. So the fact that Joker's kind of threatening to explode these bombs around the asylum, obviously Batman knows, you know, it's just Joker messing. So Harley's tried to lock you deep inside intensive treatment, and the first part of the story is you trying to escape from this intensive treatment wing so you can get out and capture Batman. So she thinks she's got Batman trapped. You can see the lovely kind of facial animation on Batman as he pulls off the vents. Stan moves through. You'll see that the problems sort of start to escalate for Batman.
So I saw him, I've seen two, he gently slides it over because he's trying to be a little quiet, right? Other times when he doesn't have to,
He
just,
always
like,
picks the right thing. Sometimes he kicks the gates right off. Sometimes, so this one he's going to slide open because there are guys around. So he always makes the smart decision. And you can see here, Joker's actually armed some of his thugs with guns. So Batman calibrates the cowl to identify the guys with guns here. They highlight in red. And Batman has to find another way around. This is one of the fascinating things about Batman, this lovely duality of him, that he's tremendously powerful, but he's just human. You know, he's chained his body to physical perfection, but he doesn't have superpowers. You know, if he gets shot, he will die. So that's what makes him such a fascinating game character.
It does, yeah, he is. Because he's, I mean, that's the trouble with Superman, a lot of people say, is he's invulnerable. How do you know?
I mean, you can relate to him, you know, he's everything you kind of want to be, you know, but he is still, you know, he is still just a human. So there are things you need to be very careful of. So you can see here, there's a guard who's talking to Joker. Batman sneaks in, takes him out. And you can constantly see this relationship that Batman and Joker have. I mean, that really is the story of the whole game, this kind of, you know, this relationship, Joker trying to press Batman's buttons all the way through the game and push him in every way that he can, and also manipulating the other villains in the asylum against Batman. You know, using basically Joker's just twisting and playing everyone in the asylum, really just for his own sick game. You know, he just loves it so much. So
now with some of the voices I've heard, Harley, Batman, Joker, it's them.
Absolutely.
It's the real people.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a privilege to work with Mark Hamill, work with Kevin Conroy, Arlene Sorkin on these characters. You know, they really bring them to life, give it that lovely sort of stamp of authenticity. You know, brilliant. You know, and to be honest, even when we recorded the first set of lines for Joker, we went right back in and recorded more lines, you know, because it was so great and added so much kind of colour to the game. So here you can see this situation, as I sort of explained before, you know, Batman is just human, so you've got to kind of scope out the environment and decide who to pick off. So Stan's had a look around here. This is one of Batman's signature takedowns, the inverted takedown. He can hang under the gargoyles, swoop down and pick the people up. See that? And just leave him hanging. And you can hear Joker, he enjoys as much playing with his thugs. He kind of pushing their buttons as well and winding them up. So he kind of commentates a lot on the action that you do. So you can see here that they find the body. As Batman, of course, you can always cut your rope. Surprise the guys below. They're going to look up and see what was over here. Stan's going to move on in case they see him. The great thing about the Predator aspect of the game is that it's totally dynamic, so it plays different every time you play. So Stan's moving around here. You know, even when we come and demo it, it makes demoing it quite fun because we really don't know where they're going to go. They're going to go where they think you've gone. They pick the best places to look. So you see they've sort of split up here. They're feeling quite confident. As they find the other bodies around of people you've knocked out, you see this guy's going to do a corner lean, look around, see if he can find you. As they start finding the bodies around, they're going to get more and more terrified and start acting more and more erratically. So you've really got this kind of almost mini sandbox gameplay. You know, it changes all the time as you play. So you kind of got a bit of risk reward. It also, you can see the condition they're at. Just going to see this guy, see which way he goes up here. See if he comes your way. Maybe he won't. See, he doesn't. We just don't know. You can drop down now, though, move up behind him, do the silent takedown. Exactly. And you're always in control. That's a big thing for us. You know, as Batman, you're in control of the situation. It's aggressive stealth, we call it. You can see now the other guys don't know what's going on. Later on in the game, as the game develops, actually Joker starts fitting these guys with these collars to detect if Batman's knocking them out, so he can direct around the other thugs to take them out. So it gets harder and harder as Joker kind of gets wise to your tactics, and he actually adds more and more to make things more and more difficult for you.
The thing that I find especially intriguing is there's all kinds of, like, you got those gargoyles up there that he's using to move around the room.
Yeah.
There are other rooms I think I've seen in some of the trailers and stuff. You have what looks to be like some kind of like trap door in the floor where he like is underneath there and like jacks people from underneath.
And this actually, which you can do. I mean, there's 25 different takedowns you can do when you play through the game. There's loads of different choices that you've got. So you can do the glide kick here that you used before. We sort of taught you. So you pull that out, flip to a ground takedown. And if he moves into the main office, there's places you can go there. The noise that he made is going to attract the other thug.
Is it challenging to make a game that it has such a universally recognized character such as Batman, and make it one accessible to people enough that they can, because everybody in the world, at least you hope, right? Everybody in the world want to play this game, Batman, right? Make it accessible, but still super challenging for the hardcore gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a challenge, but I mean, it's something that we really wanted to do. So a lot of the mechanics in there you can really overachieve when playing. So as Batman, it's really important that you feel strong and powerful when you play. But one thing that we thought was really important is that you can overachieve, you can do more, so great players, they can learn to do 120 hit combos and special moves, so good players will feel like Batman, and you can overachieve and do even better, so that was a big thing. So if you want, we can show you a little bit of the combat as well.
I would love that, please.
We'll give you, Stan's going to take on one of the harder combat rooms in the game.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, I can't tell you who that is because that gives away a bit of the story, but that's just a little teaser there. So Stan will come back and show you sort of another challenge in the game. This is one of the harder combat challenges. So the combat challenges is a good place for the really skilled players to go. Once you've learned your Batman skills, you go into these challenges and you have to do particular takedowns to get the best times, and there's an online worldwide leaderboard to see if you can get the best times against your friends. And a lot of those things are sort of, they complement each other, so you have to do a particular type of takedown. But if you make too much noise, you have to do a different type of it stops you being able to do other takedowns. So it really becomes like a strategy game as you're deciding who to pick off, but not only who, but how.
Right.
So it brings in a whole new element to the game.
Hopefully you'll take it affectionately. Some of us around the office, when we saw the video, I think it was you narrating.
The
taking people out. I think we were calling it Metal Gear Batman.
Yeah, I can kind of see what you mean. I mean, the one thing is, that one thing I kind of personally don't like about a lot of stealth games is you sort of play them a lot and then you die a lot while you're learning the patrol routes. And you feel like, it makes you feel really weak and rubbish,
It really, it's just kind of like, it seems like it's total, like, what are they, trial by fire, right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
but it doesn't really give you an, you see that, that didn't work, now I know the way that it worked. It doesn't feel like it rewards you for,
It doesn't feel like you cracked it. It was just like I did it enough until I won. So with Batman, we really wanted you almost to be able to cheat, to move up in the rooftop and be able to watch these guys and study their behaviour. And when we do the tests, when we've got people in to play the game, we get people who just sit up there for ages just watching, and and those guys never get shot, they never get tracked down, so it's the more you kind of adopt genuine Batman tactics, the more successful you'll be at the game.
And I would argue, because I have played it some, the more fun it is, really.
Absolutely, yeah. We really wanted to reward you for playing like Batman, that was a big element of it.
And the interesting thing with this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is a combination of not only just straight up striking, but also counter moves and throws, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the things we didn't want to do with the combat was have just a sort of normal weak strong combat system, and you've got to learn all these different combos to get through the game. Because to be honest, in the game, you'll be doing some combat, but then you'll be doing lots of exploration and puzzle solving and detective and forensics work. So we needed a system which you could kind of play in like a staccato manner, so you didn't have to spend hours and hours learning it. You could jump right in, but the better you get at it, the bigger combos you can rack up. So you can see Stan can pull off some of the bigger moves and do the longer combos. And like you see the lovely context-sensitive counter moves. So if someone's kicking you from behind, Batman grabs his leg under his arm and snaps it, or grabs the arm from over the shoulder. So, there are hundreds of different animations in there. Going to a takedown move there, mixing that in.
Let's see if Stan can grab the bat from that guy and use it on him.
See if that guy comes in. So there are lots of different moves that you can do. You'll see as well that the thugs, they're scavengers, so they'll try and grab stuff from the environment. They'll go to gun cabinets to pick up guns from the environment, and you can use your gadgets to stop them, use the batarang to stop them.
Damn!
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to throw some questions from the audience at you before I get in trouble, because I'm sure there's a ton of them mounting up. Let's see what we got here. I've got Nick out of St. Louis. Starts it right off with, any differences between, and I guess we should start by saying, what is this going to be coming out for and when?
It's out on 360, PS3, and PC, and it's going to be out August 25th in US and August 28th in Europe.
Getting close. What about any differences between the 3 platforms?
I mean, the PS3, in terms of like the main game story, they're the same. The PS3 has the exclusive Joker content, so on day one you can download playable Joker, which is great. He's different to play than Batman, a much kind of dirtier, nastier fighter than Batman. Has a gun as well and some cool gadgets he can use in the challenges.
I've heard obviously about that, but I haven't seen it. I heard you're showing it at the booth, right?
Yeah, you can play.
Really?
We're showing that off.
So it has like distinctive dialogue for him during
Absolutely,
that? That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, you have different like death sequences where Batman will come on and put you down for fouling, and it's a totally different take. You're taking on the Arkham guards instead of the other way around. So
Daniel Flanagan asked a very good question. He's from Ireland. He wants to know, when will the demo be released on the Xbox Live or PSN?
I've heard that question before. We do have a demo. It's going to be out on Xbox Live and PSN. I don't know the exact date it's going to be out, to be honest. It's not my decision, unfortunately, but we have got a demo, and it will be released. It's a very cool demo. It'll give you a chance to see all those main elements of what it is to be Batman.
This is a good question. Anthony Gale from Chicago wants to know, how large is the actual Arkham Asylum? Because I'm worried about how much depth the game can have if all of it is in one building. Also, we'll keep. Oh yeah. What's some of the game mechanics that you have in there that's going to keep people coming back for more? Some of the secrets and some of the other stuff that you want to unlock?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't just based in Arkham Asylum, the building. It's based on the whole island, so you can go anywhere on the island. So there's a lot of different buildings in the asylum. You have the main intensive treatment, which is a new wing that they've built to hold these kind of super criminals, because obviously they keep having trouble with them. Obviously not the most successful building they've ever made.
I know. You think somebody get a clue?
Yeah. You've got the classic mansion from all the stories, which has been repurposed as the administration block. You've got the gardens. There's a whole series of catacombs underneath with a bat cave that Batman's built down there. So there are lots of different aspects to explore, and it is one persistent location. So basically, the whole story takes place there. You can move anywhere at any time. There are over 240 different secrets to find that Riddler's set up. Puzzles for you to solve. Lots of really cool stuff for Riddler. Him setting you riddles, and you need to find out what he's talking about to scan that in. So, yeah, it's a really different kind of part of the gameplay, a real cerebral part of the gameplay.
Was it now I know you obviously put in the cool, and thank you by the way for putting in the cool leaderboard mode where you can actually see the difference between how you and your friends do in the combat.
Yeah.
Was it tempting to want to do something, and correct me if I'm wrong, was it tempting to want to do something with online or multiplayer beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's obviously lots of ways you can go with Batman. I think one of the things with him, though, that we really wanted to do was do real justice to him as a character, and he's so multifaceted that if you're going to realise, this great kind of Predator aspect, combat aspect, detective aspect, cerebral aspect of him, psychological aspect to him, which is really important, and all of these brand characters, there's only so much you can do. We wanted to do all those aspects justice, so we focused all our attention on those.
I gotcha. Let's see if I got time for more questions here. Mangus Alberg out of Stockholm. This is actually a good question to end on. Mangus Alberg out of Stockholm. If you had to quantify, we're seeing all kinds of different gameplay elements in this. We're seeing fighting, we're seeing adventure, we're seeing all kinds of different stuff. Puzzle solving.
Yeah.
Is there any one thing that you would say this game falls into? Is it just straight up an action adventure? I'm sorry.
I think that's really difficult because of who Batman is and how multifaceted he is. I mean, I think that sounds a bit corny, but I think the best way to describe it is it's a Batman genre. It's everything that Batman is.
I think that is a very accurate description, sir. And I thank you both for coming by.
Excellent.
And you're showing off the game. Definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to, as I'm sure a lot of people are. The most coming out of the show. So thanks again for coming by.
Excellent.
Appreciate it. Look forward. Thanks. Excellent demos, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh no, appreciate it. Right now we are moving on with our programming here at GameSpot Day 2 E3 2009. We're going to be going to some business here. I think we're going to be looking at. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to be looking at Ubisoft. Ubisoft is next. We're going to be in their booth, and let's check it out. Thanks, you guys.
standing in front of the Ubisoft booth, and as you can see behind me, one of the biggest titles that Ubisoft's got on display, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction, getting into a demo. Oh, dude, check that out. Sam Fisher is just